welcome to episode 7 of The Lonely Knitter. My name is Laura and I am your host. Starting with the ums already, and we're only at the beginning. If you have watched my podcast before, thank you so much for coming back and watching again. If you haven't and you are a new viewer, thank you so much for checking me out. I hope you like me and our little setup, and if not, there are plenty of other podcasts out there, and I'm sure if I'm not the one for you, you'll find lots more that are. I have been away for a while and not been posting. Sorry. I actually have really missed it, having like the ability to talk to people about knitting, even though there's no one talking back to me. I've really missed it, and so when I made the decision to come and sit and podcast tonight, I just felt like this weight off my shoulder. I wrote notes. I've got a little notebook now, just one of those little memo books, like lined notebooks, because I am going to carry this around in my notions pouch. This is the pouch I use for all of my notions, and I'm going to carry it around in there, and that way every time I buy something I can write a little note to remind myself. Every time I think of something cool that I want to talk about or hear about something good, I'm going to post it on there. Sorry, I'm looking a bit scraggly. It's been a hard Monday. I had a really late night last night as my Chris was at a stag do. Got home very late, and we've been out at my nanny's 80th birthday today and had a lovely time at her party, but I've been rolling around with my one and a half year old trying to get her to get to bed. So we are now. She is in bed. But I will talk more about sort of why I haven't podcasted in a little while and what's been going on at the end, because that way, if you aren't interested and you only are here for the knitting, which is fine, we'll get the knitting out of the way first. So the first thing I'm going to do today, I wrote my notes, and it has gone totally in a totally different direction than I thought it would. I planned it out thinking I'm going to put stash enhancement at the end and talk about my works in progress and finished objects, and then I realised I haven't finished anything in a really long time. I have had a horrendous case of startitis and every single thing I have wanted to cast on. So it's been a bit manic around here. There is a million half knit projects, stuff that I have knit a few rows on, stuff that I have knit. Well, there's a cardigan in my front room in a bag that has had, it's worked all in one piece, and I have knit everything except the sleeves, and it is a short sleeved cardigan, and I haven't finished it because something else came up and I had to knit it. So it's all gone a little bit crazy around here with knitting everything, starting everything. So what I've decided to do is split it up. I'm not going to talk to you about all the things that I have knit on in the last month while I haven't been podcasting. I've picked a few things that I have just worked on this week, and I am really hoping that I'll be able to work through those things and then get on to finishing some of the other things that I've started and been going a bit crazy on. But I will show you over the next few weeks all of the things that I have had out in the last month or so. So I'm going to do stash enhancement first, so totally the wrong order for me. If you've watched my other podcasts, you will know that I was planning a trip to Bruges for my fiance's 30th birthday. We went on that trip and I found crafty supplies. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm The Lonely Knitter on Instagram. I put loads of pictures on of our trip, and I found a cute little shop that had crochet things. There was so much stuff, it was absolutely amazing. And I went to one shop called Veritas. I did find another yarn shop as well, but it wasn't for me. And I spent about 2 minutes in there and then left. All the yarn was behind the till, and it was more cross stitch, the shop that I found. There is another knitting shop that was quite a walk away, but we were only there for 2 nights with Eurostar either end, and with a toddler, and we had loads of things we wanted to cram in, and so I didn't make it to that one that's supposed to be really good. We didn't walk there, but I went to Veritas, which was like a accessories shop downstairs, like sunglasses, gloves, scarves, hats, like everything you could think of downstairs. And then you went upstairs and it was loads of crafting supplies. So I only got one ball of yarn, and it is, I think, 100% acrylic. Do you know, I am finding the love for acrylic. I'm so sorry to say it, because I do still love hand dyed, like natural fibres mostly, but I haven't had tons of spare cash right now. I'm really prioritising the things that I buy, and I'm buying a lot of project bags and other little things. So the yarn, some of it is not the best quality, some of it is. I'm going to show you some more in a minute, and it's amazing. But this is for my little girl. I'm going to make her a hat, and I need stuff that can go in the washing machine and I don't have to worry about, because I will happily hand wash my clothes. I will happily, like my knits, not all my clothes. I will happily hand wash my socks. I will happily make her something lovely and hand wash it, but I know it's going to get covered in yogurt, possibly poo, could be anything, something, some substance will be on there, and it could be a human, it could be a bodily fluid on something I knit for my daughter. And I just, right now, I'm full on frazzled mum 90% of the time, and I need them to be easy things that can go in the washing machine. I'm just not in the frame of mind for all hand wash for her things right now. I know that if she was wearing something I'd hand knit her that was made out of gorgeous natural fibres, and I watched the yogurt go plop, 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 plop all down her front, I would be spending probably the next half an hour really tense, like, oh, I need to take that off her and wash it the whole time, because I would be concerned. Stuff like this, I'm like, do what you want, I don't care. End of the day, we'll strip you off, put you in the bath, and everything will go in the machine. So it's now, I never thought I would say this, but acrylic has a massive place in my life. Well, I did know I'd say it. I've known I've said it since I had my little girl. Before that, I was very no to acrylic. Anyway, this is, I'm not even going to attempt that word, because I know I will do it wrong. But there you go, that's what it is. Knits Bravo Colour Originals. It's in the colour 02124. It's a very lovely name. But it's these beautiful purples, pinks, oranges. There's a lot of hot pink in there. So to go with it, I bought a pom-pom. So she is going to have a hat with a nice hot pink, and that does match that colour in there. Hot pink pom-pom this winter. And this yarn doesn't have a price on, but I think it was €1.95. So I've not spent a lot. And this was a €2. I've been watching a lot of American podcasts. This was a €2 pom-pom. So for less than €4, she's going to get a hat with a really cute pom-pom, and I think that's a bargain. I didn't buy any other yarn because most of the stuff was things I could get at home. I mean, I haven't seen this before, but they had a lot of Phrygia, and I had some Rowan and other things, and I was like, we ain't got a lot of room in our suitcase, and I got to lug that home on the Eurostar. I don't want any extra bags, and I could get all of this at home. So I did not buy any more yarn, and I am, again, tight budget, Bruges trip, expensive, you have tons of money. They did have this in the sale area for €7. It is 1 metre of this Disney fabric. It's yellow, and you can see the Mickeys, the white outlines of Mickeys, white like blank spaces that are Mickey shaped, and then the drawn on Mickeys. And it's a canvas, proper canvas fabric, and I'm thinking that'd make a lovely project bag, nice lined thick project bag. Well, there's a metre, so it's going to make more than one project bag, but yeah, might make some project bags with this. And then I also bought these buttons. They were $4.99, so they were quite pricey, I feel, the buttons, but they are Disney, so they are Mickey head buttons, and I just thought they'll be great for a cardigan that I'll make Ellie. I'm always looking at new patterns, and I always want buttons, and I love Disney, and we're going to Disneyland Paris for our honeymoon, so I'll be able to hopefully have knit her another cardigan by then. She'll have her hat on with its pink pom-pom, and then she'll have a new cardigan with Mickey Mouse buttons all down it. So yeah, so that's what I got in Bruges. Not a lot, but enough. And the next thing that is new around here is, well, I have got some Bakery Bears yarn. Now, I can't remember if I had my last load of Bakery Bears yarn when I last podcasted, because this is my second purchase from the Bakery Bears, from Kay Jones' Etsy shop. She announces on Instagram usually that she's going to do an update and what date and what time, and then I sit there, set an alarm, and like up until 5 minutes before it's going live, I'm sitting there pressing refresh, 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 because I don't want to miss out. And I'm so glad I didn't this time, because I got two amazing things. So the first thing I picked up was this Bakery Bears Hardwick base, which is 75 superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% silver stellina, so it's sparkly. 400 meters, 200 grams, and it is the colourway Hogsmeade Station. So it is a Harry Potter themed yarn, and it is not coming out, like the colours are so rich and they are not coming out right at all. Maybe they are there a bit more, but like all these colours are coming out almost quite washed out, like they are so rich, so rich. So yeah, that is my Hogsmeade Station, which I actually can't decide if I want this to be socks or maybe a shawl, because it's those darker colours and I think I could pull that off and wear it in a shawl or a scarf type thing, and I feel like it's just too beautiful to be on my feet, and it's really sparkly. You might be able to see some of the sparkle in there, but it's a lot more sparkly than it looks in the picture. So yeah, there's this, and then the other thing I bought, I have already started knitting with, so I can't show you it in the skein, though if you really want to see it in the skein, if you go to my Instagram, The Lonely Knitter, I posted loads of pictures on there before I kicked it up. So it's this yarn. There's not tons left in the cake. Well, there is actually, because I haven't used all of it, but I mean, like, I've already knit one full sock and the majority of the second. So this is, again, Bakery Bears yarn, and this is in the Hardwick base again, which is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% silver stellina. And this one was 400 meters of the autumn term at Hogwarts colourway, can't get my words, which is just beautiful. Again with the sparkles, but it is so pretty, autumnal colours, and it came with another 80 metre mini skein of After All This Time, which is here. Just wind it back up. It's a bit loose, but that does not show even remotely like how gorgeous this is. It's really beautiful. I wish I could get a full 100 grams of this. I will keep watching and keep stalking, and maybe one day she'll do another load of those, as that is just beautiful. And I will show you the socks that I'm knitting out of it when we get on to works in progress. And the bag that it is in is another one of my stash enhancements. So I heard about Duckpool Lane, and I'm sure I have one of the business cards here. Here we go. I'm not taking this out of the packet yet. Duckpool Lane. So she is duckpoollane at etsy.com. Definitely heard about her through Kay Jones, because she posts about the bags talks about the bags on Bakery Bears podcast, and they are gorgeous. And I saw this one, I followed her on Instagram, pressed the link to go through to Etsy, and saw this one, and I was like, I had to have it. And there's only one of them in her shop. It's one of her small bags, and it's denim, and it's got a nice, oh, something on the bottom. It's got a nice wide bottom, and it's cats. And my little girl, who is 19 months old, absolutely loves it. And she sits there, and I'm going, what's on here, Ellie? And she'll go, cat, 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 and I'd point at every single cat, apart from one, I'm not sure which one it was. One she thought was an elephant, and she kept going. So one of these apparently is an elephant. But yeah, it's a bit crumpled up now. When I got it, it was obviously all smooth and lovely. But I have been keeping it on with the drawstring. And this is a small bag, but it is really like a good size. And I have another one of these, but I'm going to show you on a later podcast because I am saving things. I'm just doing a minimum today. So yeah, like it's got nearly a pair of socks in there, plus the leftover yarn, and there's a lot of space. Like you could fit a good lot more stuff in there. So yeah, Duckpool Lane. This is the first bag I bought from them. I have now bought another bag from her, from Leslie at Duckpool Lane, and I'm like daily stalking, going onto Instagram, clicking the link to go through to her Etsy shop, and just seeing what else is there. Even though I don't really have any more money for Project Bar, I don't have any money for any yarny things at the moment. I need to work through Stash. But they're like just irresistible. They're so well made. They're so sturdy. I'm really impressed. They're obviously lined, and they just feel just really good. They're lined in the same. This one's lined in the same fabric as the outside, and it's obviously got interfacing on it. It just feels really sturdy, and yeah, probably one of my favourite bags I've ever found, to be honest, from a maker. So that was my Duckpool Lane project bag. Next is something very pretty. I couldn't resist this because I think that her prices are really good. I bought a skein of yarn from, sorry, I've just noticed I left my Bakery Wares yarn out of the project bag, and that is a new rule, so that stays with the project. This is a yarn that I bought from Elm Tree Yarns, which is elmtreeyarns at etsy.com. And it is beautiful. It's got yellow and purpley blue, and there's a lot of rich blues in there, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. There's like almost into a gold, going into a gold there, and it is beautiful. It is called colourway Wish Upon a Star. I adore it. It's 400 metres, 100 grams of 4-ply superwash merino nylon and silver stellina, so same sort of base as the Bakery Bears yarn, and it is incredibly soft and it's just beautiful, and there is a really nice amount of sparkle in there, which I don't think you'll be able to pick up a little bit there in the light. But yeah, Wish Upon a Star, and anything Disney related for me, or things that I can link to Disney, are just, I'm like, woo! And she gave me a business card to show. Yeah, so this, go Elm Tree Yarns at etsy.com. Really fast delivery, really fast service. And do you know what I love about all these suppliers from Etsy and people who make their own things? What I love is the extras. I'm not gonna lie, I would be perfectly happy if I ordered this yarn, which was, I think, a really good price, really fast delivery, is gorgeous, and it's just so beautiful. I'd be perfectly happy with just this. But then they put little extras in, and I'm like, yay! So between Elm Tree Yarns, Duckpool Lane, there's a few others, Nora George yarns I've bought from recently. I'll show that in a future episode. I've had tea bags with biscuits and Haribo, and this one is one I'd quite like to try, organic pomegranate. And then Duckpool Lane had a sweetie and a herbal tea. I think it's a herbal tea. I don't drink tea or coffee, but I want to, and I really struggle to find things that I like, and I don't want to buy a whole box of a drink, like a whole box of tea, and then not really like it, so it'll just be a massive waste. So I'm finding that I'm building up a little stash of all these little goodies, and the tea especially I'm really chuffed with, but I'm sort of storing them all up, and I'm going to sort of have a little try at some point and go through everything, and also having like the little bags of Haribo. I'm just storing them all up. I feel like sometimes there are really hard days being a toddler mum, and I really want to have that as, I want to be able to go and have a little bag of Haribo in silence. I might just go and chuck myself in Lou when she has a nap and have a Haribo. So yeah, those little extras, they proper make my day, which seems really, really sad and simple, but I really love it. Anyway, so that was my other pretty purchase. On to something a little bit more commercial. One of my projects that I'm about to show you, the one I'm knitting on right now, is knit from Sadar Dapple, which is double knitting, DK weight yarn, in the very attractive colourway 0085, which I believe is, she wrote it underneath, Hazy Days. Hazy Days is alright, it's a nice name. It's a DK weight yarn. It's 330 metres, 360 yards for 100 grams of 75% acrylic and 25% wool. Now, I would never have usually bought this, especially not for a jumper, which is what I'm knitting, but I found a project, I needed to do this. I really wanted to do this project, and I didn't have the yarn in my stash, and I didn't have a big budget. So I went into my local yarn store. Now, I'll talk about that in a minute. My local yarn store. I went there. This was within my budget. It was the right colours for what I sort of wanted. I was like, yeah, that'll do. And I just bought it. So please don't judge me on my acrylic again, because this one is for me. But yeah, it's 75% acrylic, 25% wool, and it's fine, and I'm knitting, and there is a big part of me that is a process knitter and having just the ability to sit and knit, so I am happy to at least be able to do this. So I'm knitting with my 75% acrylic yarn, and I am happy about it. Please don't judge me. Okay, so that is everything that I have, that I want to show you this week. It is not everything that I have bought. There is a lot more because it's been a month and I have no willpower and just keep spending money. Sorry, and what I've decided to do is today try and have a shorter podcast and not be so long, not be an hour or longer. I'd love it to be 40 minutes or less, but then I will also try and podcast next week and try to make this instead a weekly podcast. So I'm going to save up some of the things that I've bought, and I have a few more things coming, and I'm going to just try and save them for when I want to podcast each week, so that I have a bit of podcast fodder each week rather than running out of things. So I think this is a lovely outlet for me to have weekly rather than monthly, or a couple of weekly, and have it shorter instead of it being a massive ordeal. So those are all my knitting works in progress. I have, however, another work in progress, sort of, or at least something I've been doing. I suppose that technically there are many, many, many finished objects, and they're stitch markers. So yesterday I went into Norwich with my mum and we went to Hobbycraft. My mum needed some table plan things for my nanny's birthday today, like little cards that say people's names on, table cards, place cards. I bought things to make stitch markers. Now, I've made jewellery before, and I don't have all my bits and bobs anymore. Like, it was a long time ago I used to make jewellery, but I really, really wanted to make stitch markers, because the only ones I have are these, and I think they came free with a magazine. And I don't have that many because I lose them. I lose stitch markers like crazy. And I haven't ever really had any pretty stitch markers, and I really wanted some. And I have bought some. There are some coming online from Etsy. But I also knew that I really wanted to make some because I love jewellery making when I used to do it, and I know I can do it. And whilst I wanted to support people on Etsy who do this, you know, for a living, or, you know, just as an extra, whatever, I also knew that I could sort of do it myself. I'm not saying I could do what everyone else could do on Etsy, because there's some amazing things on there that I definitely could not do, but just basic things, I knew I could do it, and I wanted to have a go, and I knew I'd enjoy it. So that's what I've spent my time doing. So I have made lots, and I mean lots. So I've made a bunch of these, the snag free little stitch marker loops with a little bead that goes over the jump ring join and is like super glued down so it can't move, so there's no snags. So I've made a load of those, and then I decided to make sets. So each set has a dangly one there, and then 5 snag free in a coordinating bead colour. So there we go, there's one. And then it didn't stop with just one. There's a blue one. And here's another one with some blue in it. And then a nice clear and white one. Darker one. Green one. And that's a purpley one. Can't really see that it's purple. And this one is the yellowy and green one. So yeah, so it's got a dangly one and then all the others, and so that's what I've currently got on my knitting. So to mark the beginning of the round, I have this one, which is a dangly, and then to mark the other points, I have a snagless ring. So yeah, I went a little bit crazy. So each one of these has 6 markers, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets on here, and then 1 set on here, and then a load of spare or just extra of the snag free ones in my tin. And then I made some progress keepers on little lobster claws. So here is a castle, and then have a magic wand, and I was like, oh, I'm going to use this when I knit my Wish Upon a Star yarn from Elm Tree Yarns, and then a yarn ball with needles and a bumblebee, and I like bumblebees, as you can tell, little bumblebee, and a button with a thread through it. So I have gone from having an almost empty tin, it's just an old Altoids tin. I work in pharmacy and every pharmacy sells Altoids. So it's full now. And I have loads more stuff to make more, and I've actually really enjoyed making the snag-free, snagless stitch markers because it's really therapeutic, and it didn't take me that long to have a bunch done, and it's just a very immediate gratification sort of thing. So that's sort of one of my works in progress, but it's also stash enhancement because I bought it all yesterday. So works in progress, I'll go with the one I'm knitting on right now, and I'm going to be quick because we're already at 28 minutes and I want to get through this. The reason I'm knitting this, and in this acrylic mainly yarn, is because I saw a call for a test knit on Instagram from Sweater Freak Knits, and I love her patterns, and I just love the patterns. I think they're great, and I don't know much about Sweater Freak Knits other than that at all, because I've only just seen pictures through Instagram and looked on the Ravelry patterns. So it was a call for this, and this is the Payday pullover, and there are pictures on Instagram, so it's not a secret what it looks like. She has posted final pictures, and it's really nice. It's quite a simple looking knit until you get to the bottom, then there's a lot of lace, but you can see all of that in the picture on Instagram. So I think it's going to be a nice fit. I need to pick up, there is a neckband, you can see it in the picture, so that's not on there yet, but yeah, this is where we're at. I think I'm ploughing on quite quick considering I only started on Thursday afternoon. It's now Sunday, So that is quite a long time. I would normally have gone more than that, but all of Saturday was taken up with wedding shopping, and all of Sunday was taken up, that's today, it was taken up with my nanny's 80th birthday, and I didn't knit there, I was toddler wrangling for most of the time. So it's only really been Thursday evening, a bit of Friday afternoon when she had a sleep and it was raining, and then a little bit of Saturday evening. So now I'm knitting on it now. So it's actually coming on really fast, I think. So I really wanted to join in the test knit, and I posted on there what size I could do, but I did explain that I just physically can't afford to buy some, like, I was just looking in the Ravelry group where we were chatting, and there were so many gorgeous yarns, and I was like, I have not got the ability to match any of this. And then she said it was okay for me to do whatever with using a commercial yarn, and the yarn I wanted and the yarn I said I would use, I tried to order at one of my local yarn stores, not the one I usually use, and they said they could get it, and then 3 days later they said they couldn't get it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to order off Wool Warehouse, which is fine, I love Wool Warehouse. I was like, then I'm waiting even longer, and I really want to get started because everyone in the group is getting started, so I just went and bought this yarn instead. It has the same like gauge swatchy thing on the side. It's a very similar yarn to what I was going to use, because I've used what I was going to use before, and I'm knitting the pattern, and I've you know, I'm in. So it's fine. I just really wanted to get started on this because I saw the pictures and I was like, I really want to do it, even though there's so many other things that I need to be knitting and crocheting as well, and just getting done. So yeah, that is my main thing that I'm working on right now, is the payday pullover from Sweater Freak Knits. And if you go onto the Instagram, Sweater Freak Knits Instagram, you will be able to see a picture, and it looks really good. The other thing that I've been working on intermittently, I haven't, to be fair, worked on it a lot at all. I worked on these mainly on my Bruce trip. When I say mainly, I cast on the first one as we drove off the driveway at 7 in the morning on the Friday, and this is as far as I got until the Sunday when we got home, and I haven't really worked on them since, the odd stitch here and there. So I am knitting it with the yarn I showed you, the Autumn Term at Hogwarts Bakery Bears yarn. The body of the sock and the heel is knit from that colourway, and then the cuff and the toe is knit from the After All This Time mini, the coordinating mini that was with it. So that is one sock. I haven't got sock blockers, I'm sorry, I wish I did have sock blockers, I don't. I might do a cardboard one at some point, but I think this yarn has come out just beautiful. It's just lovely, and I love the top and the bottom. And then the second one, which is on the needles, it's halfway through a needle as well, like a half of it, and we've got the cuff, we're all the way down the foot, we're like halfway down the foot, more than halfway down the foot, so I need to get cracking on those. I've just been sucked into other things, many other things, of which I'm not showing you all today because there's so many and would go on forever. So that's my other work in progress, and then that's it. That's all I was going to talk about. It's hard for me to like, the reason I didn't know that that was all my works in progress is because I have a little list of ones that I was going to talk about and that I'm segregating out into all the different podcasts that are coming up. So I think that is all of the knitting. I mean, it's not all of the knitting because I am going to talk a little bit about my local yarn shop in the next bit, but this is like what's been going on in my life in the last 4 weeks, and it won't be very long because I'm going to get it done in less than 6 and a bit minutes, so we can be under 40 and done. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's been going on. So if you aren't interested in anything other than what I've been knitting and what I've bought, then thank you very much, and thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time. If you are interested, then like, I'm going to talk about it. I don't know why I said if you are interested. Otherwise, let's do this. So the last 4 weeks have been very, very busy in our lives. So my fiance Chris, he works full time, I work part time, and we have a little girl who's 19 months old. And when I work, so I work one night, a late night, and I don't leave work until 10:30, and I work in a pharmacy. And my little girl plays, or our little girl plays him up on those nights and goes to bed really late. And then we had a few weeks with loads of people's birthdays and barbecues and bits that happened. She was basically out of routine for a whole week. I went away for one of my best friend's hen do's, and she had a weekend away. So she played dad up on the weekends, and every night basically she's been going to bed very late. And if you put her to bed early, she will stand in her cot and scream, sometimes until she makes herself sick. And if you're in the room with her and trying to keep her calm, she just wants to get out and she won't go to sleep, and it's very hard. And what we have found is the only thing that will, if she is very tired, she will go to sleep on her own, but the only thing that will make her go is if I sing nursery rhymes through the baby monitor. Now we've got a video monitor so I can see exactly what she's doing, but if I sing nursery rhymes through the monitor, she will then lay down and go to sleep. But I've been away a lot and working, and she won't do it for daddy. So she's been totally averaging. Then we went to Bruges for the weekend. We stayed in a hotel, we took her with us, and because we're all in the same hotel room, which I wouldn't have wanted it any other way, but because we were in there with her, she was just standing up at the cot like this. And we were both like laying on the bed trying to pretend that we were asleep or going to sleep so that she would lay down and go to sleep, because then she would go to sleep and then we could put Netflix on and watch something quietly and have a chat and just have an evening. We did stay out quite late, like we were walking around the city. She would fall asleep in the buggy a bit, but when we got back to the hotel room she was suddenly like and I don't really know how to manage it otherwise. When you go away, it was our first real trip away with her at all, where we weren't with a lot of other family, and we took her to Florida when she was 7 months old, and she's been a few other places when she was a lot younger, but she just used to sleep then. She always slept through, so this is quite new to us. So she's been really messed up with her timings, and not going to bed until very late, and it's been awful. And she then sleeps in, so she gets a full night's sleep, but I've been trying to wean her off that and move her body clock back round, and it's been very hard. So I would normally podcast in the evenings, so like tonight I haven't had an evening, you know, it's been 10 o'clock and she's finally going to sleep, and I'm exhausted because I've been wrangling a toddler that's like going because she is tired. She makes this awful noise all evening. So I don't know how the parents feel about this, but I am happy to be an all-in parent. We have a wildlife park near us that we have a season ticket to. We go there 3 times a week. We go on the park twice a week. We go out for a walk every day. We do multiple activities every day. I am never having her sitting and just being lazy, like not having fun. I want her to be stimulated at all times. I will work hard on this. But then when 8 o'clock comes, she should be in her bed and I should be knitting on the sofa with something I want to watch on the telly. It's not been going to plan. So yeah, it's been hard to podcast because I haven't had the time, the ability to. So tonight we are finally getting her back into her routine. It started yesterday, but I was just exhausted yesterday. And no, day before yesterday, like it's been exhausting. And we are catching up on time, and I am going to podcast every week, and hopefully it will be less than an hour, but I'm going to do this every week because it's fun and I need this outlet and this little moment to talk about knitting that no one else in my real life wants to talk about. So other things that have gone on, my local yarn store, I think I might actually really like it. Now, it used to be owned by an elderly lady who was very friendly and very experienced and was really brilliant, but I don't think there was ever anything in there that didn't have acrylic in it, and I didn't like a lot of the yarn in the store, and they never had a very wide range of needles, and I just, like, they never had a lot of what I wanted, and I just kind of felt like these yarn stores weren't for me, especially because I have lived in London and had Loop and I Knit to go to, so I was finding it quite hard. And last year, I think it was, it might even have been the year before, but I hadn't started going back tons, but a new lady took over. She's a little bit awesome. They have knitting groups every week, and they might have had them before, but I seem to have gone in a lot at the times when they're having their knitting groups. Everyone seems to be friendly and really chatty. She's on Facebook, she's on Instagram. The yarn hasn't changed that much. But she has a lot of nicer yarns that have acrylic in, like for example this. I quite like this. And She's always posting projects and stuff on her Facebook group. She does promotions, she does sales. I've got some great things in there, and she is my dealer when it comes to Knit Pro Zings. Like, and she'll order anything in. Like, one of the things that I've got in the last few weeks, actually I'll show you now. I've got these just point protectors, but I use them on the end of DPNs so that I can use a DPN as a straight, like a short little straight. And I've got a clicker, and I really wanted one of these. It's not in this bag, it's somewhere. I'll have to find it. But I got one of these clickers that's like a little box rather than one that goes around your neck. Oh, we've gone over 40 minutes. Oh well. It's just really, I'm finding it better and better. She has a good range of commercial stock yarns. I mean, she doesn't stock Opal, but she does a lot of other ones. And she has the Las Vegas yarn. She has King Cole. She had Heart and Soul. I don't know if she does anymore. But like, my point being, I am a lot happier. I feel like I'm finding a little community there. She's invited me to their evening knit group. I can't go because it's too early and Chris doesn't get home from work in the city until later than it's over, so there's no chance. But maybe I'm a little bit less of a lonely knitter. But yeah, they're really friendly and really lovely, and they don't underestimate me because I'm younger. I'm not being horrible here. I am 28. And I understand that a lot of their clientele are a lot older. My nanny is one of the people that goes in that shop. But they don't treat me like I know less because I'm younger. And, you know, she's asked, like the first few times in there, she's offered a lot of advice, asked me things. And now she remembers me, she doesn't say half the stuff she used to. I think because she knows that, well, I have told her I've been knitting since I was 5. I don't really go anywhere without knitting. Usually when I go in there, because it's only a short little stop and I'm just going in there and then leaving because there's nowhere else in that end of town that I would go for something, I usually go in with Ellie on my back in the carrier. We've got a Tula, so she's on my back looking over my shoulder watching everything, and I have like a project bag strung over my arm like this, and then I have my socks and I'm just knitting as I walk because I need to get my knitting time where I can. Like if Ellie's in the carrier for any reason, I will on my back, then I will then use that as knitting time because, you know, when she's out of the carrier, we're playing and we're doing things, and I wouldn't have my hands free. So yeah, I'm finding a lot of love for my very acrylic, but very charming and very friendly and very helpful local yarn store. They're brilliant and their service is really good. They are, I suppose I should say that they're called The Wool Shop, and they're in Lowestoft, which is where I live in Suffolk. Yeah, that is just really nice in there, like friendly and fun. And you know, I have talked to her about like possibly getting in hand-dyed yarns and different types of yarns, and well, I actually spoke to her husband what I was doing, and he said to me like, we wouldn't sell it and we don't have the need, like the call for it. And he's probably right. I mean, I would buy it, but one customer isn't always, you know, isn't going to be enough to justify completely overhauling the types of yarn your shop sells. And a lot of their, like my nanny for example, is one of their regular customers, and she just likes the Stylecraft 100% acrylic, all the different colours that they have, and she'll buy a bunch of balls of that and make herself a cardigan, and she's very, very happy with that. And there's nothing wrong with that, and I really feel like that now that I am knitting with more and more acrylic, because I love to knit and I don't want to stop knitting, but my budget does not always afford me the ability to buy these amazing yarns for bigger garments. So this jumper that I'm making, the pullover, Payday Pullover by Sweater Freak Knits, as her test knit, is going to take me 300 gram balls of the Sodard apple, and I think it's cost me 12 odd quid. 12 quid for a sweater. I couldn't buy one in the shop for that, not one I liked. So, you know, I can't complain because I had 12 quid in my account on the day that I wanted to start knitting this, and I didn't have a lot more spare. So this is in my budget, and sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do to stay in. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. I would do a big review of my Bruges trip, but I don't think people want to hear it. Like, people, if anyone did, you can tell me. But I'm still going to do my giveaway. I know I talked about it previously. I'm stacking up things. Well, I'm going to put at least one of those sets of stitch markers in. Depending on how much yarn I get together, I might make it like a little second place prize as well. I am going to make a Ravelry group. I just haven't done it yet. I'll talk about it next, like as soon as I've done it, I will tell you. And that's probably where it will be, the giveaway, when I do it. But yeah, some stitch markers will go in there as well. So at the moment, I think it's sitting at a ball of opal, a hand-dyed skein that I got a while ago off Etsy, of sock yarn, and some, my Knit Pro Symphonies, my Knit Pro, the little tiny ones that I haven't got a big cable so you can't magic loop on them, that I didn't like. And I'll put some other bits in there and some stitch markers. So it's getting more and more. So we'll do that. Anyway, I'm now over 45 minutes and I'm going to stop because hopefully I will have a sleeping child in the evenings next week too, and I'll be able to do a video next week, or I would really love to do a video next week. So if you've got this far with me, thank you so much for watching. I realise I've been very sporadic and hopefully it will get more regular, but to be honest, some days I'm like, I just want to talk about my knitting and put it out there, and if maybe no one wanted to watch, sorry, I got cut off there, my iPad storage ran out, but yeah, I just want to say that thank you so much for anyone who is watching. I think I would continue to do this even if no one watches, because it's really therapeutic and really nice, and really nice to feel like I'm talking to adults even if I'm not. But yeah, if you've got this far, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Come and find me on Instagram, The Lonely Knitter. I'd love to talk to you, chat you on there, and I love seeing other people's makes and stuff. Though it might not be good for me right now because I might start knitting more, and I really have a lot of half-finished objects, like things that need finishing. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. Bye!